Mr. Depressed question. Then we're gonna pivot over to the other two topics. So first thing he says, what if they nerf hate spike to 1 damage instead of dealing the 2, but leaving it at 1 mana? How do you feel about that?
Cards unplayable.
Really?
Really?
Even though you still get a free unit?
Yeah, it's unplayable. You're giving up a whole unit for 1 damage.
Yeah, but what if you wanted to kill that unit?
Only thing I could see it being played still in is like Nasus, Kindred, like all these like Slay kind of decks. I could see it being played in there. I mean, to be honest, I could see Riot doing that, honestly.
I mean, that would be a very unique approach to nerfing a card because, as far as I've seen, they only touch numbers. They don't touch like effects for the most part. So, for instance, they when they hit TF, they made him level up on 9 cards instead of 8, and then with Fiora, instead of hitting anything in her effect, they just hit her health, and so on and so forth. So they always either hit the cost of the card or the numbers on the stats of the unit, but they never actually change the effects. So that would actually be a very unique balance change that they've ever done. But I don't think they're going to stray away from the usual balance change strategy that they normally do, unfortunately. Like, don't get me wrong, I know Riot is very creative. They've been having this game thrive for the last 2 years that it's been out. It's crazy to think that LOR has only been out for 2 years. But yeah, the 2 years that it's been out, it's been thriving off the changes that they've been making. Granted, I don't believe they make enough changes to the game to keep it feeling fresh for everybody. So one of the reasons why you see a lot of top creators go over to like TFT occasionally and to other strategy games like Slay the Spire and stuff like that is because they're very, very, very like into the outplaying, outmaneuvering, and out-strategizing your opponent. Can't really do that if you're playing against the same strategies all the time in ladder. So like a lot of times the top creators are not like tournament players who won't be in like regionals and seasonal tournaments and things of that nature. They're on ladder 24/7. So they're going against the same ladder decks every single time because they're in Masters. And as you know, everybody that's up there is not going to be wasting any time. They're trying to get to the top 500. So they're playing the best and strongest strategies in the game has to offer.
Yep, 100%. Do you mind if we go through like maybe one more nerf?
Sure.
Or
yeah.
Did you want to go through all of them, or did you like?
I mean, if we want to cover the whole entire balance change, that's also cool with me. I just wanted to be respectful of your time.
Okay. No. I can. I mean, we pretty much talked about Sermon, talked about Hate Spike, Viego. I have no idea what they're changing. Maybe health.
Honestly, what I think they might do to Viego is actually increase his level up condition.
That's possible too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the 20 health is pretty steep at times, but with the way that the game is going and how big units get now from stuff like Bard, stuff like Evelyn, and stuff like other things that just generate free units for him to see die, he can level up pretty quickly on board. Like, it only takes him like 1 or 2 turns. And now you got a dude who's going to constantly either straight up just kill your champion or take your strongest unit on board and use it for glimpses, or use it. Well, first he's going to attack with it. Then he's going to use it for glimpse.
Or he could just hate spike you, right?
Yeah.
Also, I mean, yeah, I could definitely see them changing the level of condition for sure. Concurrent timelines, definitely going to 2 or 3 mana for sure.
Ooh, that'd be absolutely unplayable at 3 mana. if they do change it, I definitely see them changing it to only 2 mana. 2 mana would definitely be a pretty steep commitment to something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I've heard also people say that maybe it's just for one turn. That just completely kills the card. Hopefully,
that card is dead. Throw it out the window. Garbage.
But hopefully it's just like 2 mana. Hopefully, right?
Yeah, but I mean, hey, that goes in line with what Mr. Press was alluding to before, where maybe they should look into reworking effects. I mean, they did with Zenith Blade. Before the longest of time, I you know, it would always give you overwhelm, and now it only gives you overwhelm for that turn. And I didn't even know that when I was running like my faded deck in the beginning of the season, and I was like, wait, what happened to my overwhelm? Did the game glitch and just take it away? And then I read the card again, and I was like, what? It's just for the turn? Oh, this card is garbage now. And now you don't see Zenith Blade nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely possible that they could change it either way. I mean, I feel like if they make it 2 mana, it's probably not going to get played, honestly.
2 mana is pretty steep, and if they go with the rework effect...
But not only that, it also gets countered by Notified now.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing now.
Yeah.
So.
I honestly see it being in the situation also where if they did go with the effect that you had mentioned before, where they just changed for that turn, that would make it so the other 2 copies in the deck actually have a purpose, because you run 3 copies.
That's so true. That's so true, yeah. Yeah.
You run 3 copies, but you don't actually see the other 2 copies get played. They just
don't. Yeah, you don't want to see the other 2, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, all right, I got the one off. I'm good. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, for sure, because this is a 3. Like, this is easily the 3 of in your deck always, right? Because you're playing a concurrent deck. Like, you're gonna play this as a 3 of, almost always. So
you can guarantee to see it.
Yeah, exactly. So Harrowing, this card's getting nerfed because of Red Gwen. I have absolutely no idea what they're doing other than mana. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess this card could be 10 mana. I don't think this card is better than Runation, but I guess.
I honestly did not think that card needed to get touched. I was super shocked when I saw it on the patch notes, because I was like, what deck is abusing this right now?
Red Gwen, that's about it. And also SI Nami, but nah, I don't think Harrowing needs to get nerfed.
Yeah, that was really a little shocking to me too.
Mark of the Storm, they're just gonna revert this.
Yeah, Kenan, he saw too much gameplay with that. Like, oh my goodness.
He just kills everything. He's just way too consistent. Like, it just is way too broken, honestly. Yeah. At 3 mana.
I mean,
killing 3 damage is way too good. 0 mana deal 3 is way too strong.
Right? Like, the only thing that I can see them doing is increasing the cost of the card. So when he generates it, it stays fading, but now you have to commit at least 1 mana to it. So, you know, it's not as good, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think that, I honestly, when I first saw Kenan, I was like, yo, this card costs 0 mana, is busted. Like, I always thought this card was busted.
Yeah.
And then they freaking buffed it, and I was like, hey, yo, what?
Yeah. That was the most shocking buff I've ever seen. They was like, oh, we want to put Kenan back in the meta. And we was like, but he didn't need this. Like, he was in a good spot. He just needed a good supporting champion for him.
Yeah. And then also, you know, Kenan didn't come back because of the buff. Kenan came back because a lot of the strategy slowed down, and Ezreal Kenan was able to actually be a deck again.
Right.
That's the only reason why it came back, not because of the buff.
Yeah.
The buff was just the tipping point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It just became like, oh, well, now I can kill all your 3 health units now. Now you can't do shit. Like, all right, buddy. Rider Calling, I think this card goes to 1 mana. You know what I could see them doing to this card? No cap. Don't quote me on this. I see this card going to 1 mana fast. No cap.
Actually, I would be perfect.
Cap.
I would be perfectly fine with that because if you're going to increase the cost of a slow speed spell, which someone always had an answer to, it was so scary to try to commit the Rite of Calling to a unit on board, especially if they had like 2 health, because I knew for a fact they had something, anything, to kill my unit before I get to commit to that and then grab the unit. But at least I didn't have to commit any mana. But if they make it where it's 1 mana and it's fast, then it'll still see its play. And it just, require you to commit a little bit more to it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think the only reason why this card is getting nerfed is because everybody keeps complaining about Shurima, so they were like, all right, we got to throw something in, right?
I guess.
Everybody says Shurima is the most broken region in the game.
How? I definitely think that's
so.
I think that belongs to Shadow House.
So I think they had to throw something in for Shurima. That's the only reason why I think Rite of Calling is here.
I guess.
Decimate. I have absolutely no idea what they're doing to this card.
They're increasing the cost again.
Oh my god.
They're gonna make it a 6 cost.
A 6 mana deal 4. This card is absolutely unplayable.
Yeah.
Honestly.
There's too many aggro strategies that rely heavily on that card. And the 5 mana isn't really too much to commit for them because they don't really have big plays. They try to swing at you early and get you down to like about 6 to 8 health. And then they just play double decimate on the following turn. So decimate on your turn, decimate on their turn. Game. GG. Shake my hand. Right? Versus if it was 6, now you got to choose, depending on which aggro strategy you're going with. Do I commit the 6 mana for this 4 damage burn? Or do I summon a bunch of units out of my hand and get my hand down to like 1 card in hand type of thing? So, I don't know. I think it's just supposed to try to force them to think a little bit more before they commit that 5 mana. Because there was people who was just doing it just to do it sometimes in some matches against me. I was like, I'm not even close to death. Why are you activating it? Because I can. It's just 4 damage for 5 mana.
True. Honestly, if they hit this card too hard, I could see them emergency fixing this. No cap.
He was saying that what if they just decrease the damage to 3 damage?
3 damage? No.
So 5 mana for 3 damage.
I take 6 for 4 over 5 for 3.
Let me put this in perspective for you real quick off the suggestion you just made, Mr. Depressed. Afterburn exists. And Afterburn not only checks landmarks, but also deals 3 to the Nexus. You're literally saying that a card that does something more than just deal damage straight to the face should cost less. Because Afterburn is only, is it 3 or 4 mana?
Aftershock.
Aftershock. Is it 3 or 4 mana?
It's 3. It's 3 actually. It doesn't deal the face anymore though.
Oh, it doesn't deal the face?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind that.
It would basically, if you would nerf Decimate to deal 3, it would literally be as good as Noxian Fervor, which is that's so nasty. Like that's a nasty ass nerf. That's a nasty nerf. I don't see them doing that. That's Riot literally saying fuck all burn players, all right? Just get out my game. Don't play burn.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that's what they're saying to me. Like they're just saying, nah, just get the fuck out my game. Play control, get the fuck out. Like there's no way they put Decimate to 3. There's no way. There's no way. If they put Decimate to 3, yo, they better be listening to this and being like, alright, we really need some emergency fixes like right now.
Yeah. That's
like, hey, yo, that's crazy. Yo, if they do, I'm gonna dead send you a message like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, hey, yo, what is this?
Nah.
5 mana deal 3 slow speed. Yo, have you met my big brother? He's three damage, get rid of a unit that was probably gonna die anyways to deal 3 to anything at fast speed. Have you met my big brother? He's just 10 times better than me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, sheesh.
So now I need to ask you this then. With the buffs that they have on the horizon, what do you think they're going to do to Daybreak that's going to push it into playability? Because as you can see, they pretty much got almost every single card from Daybreak in there. Almost. Not all of them. Because some of them didn't need help.
Yeah. They pretty much have all the ones that were, like, bad. Mm-hmm. So, I see, like, basically just stat buffs and mana cost reductions. Like, that's pretty much all I see. I don't see them changing effects, really.
Yeah, like, I think the effects are fine.
Like, maybe Sunburst does something else? Like, does something more?
Hell no. That's literally one of the best spot removers in the game, honestly. It's silence and then deal 6.
It is, but it's not played, though. That's the issue.
It's played in a lot of different strategies.
So maybe they buff it somehow. I'm not sure.
5 mana Sunburst, you're high. You're high as hell.
That's what I was saying. I don't see Sunburst becoming a 5 mana card.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. I think they changed the ability somehow. I don't know how though. Maybe it's not draw a card.
No, well,
some way.
Look, all I see. If they wanna, I don't know. To be honest, that card did not need a buff. I'm gonna say that right now. Sunburst doesn't. It does not need a buff. It is already super good.
Yeah, I was very confused when I saw Sunburst here. Not gonna lie.
But if they do decide to give it a buff, the only one that I think can be buffed on it that would not make it the most broken thing that has ever existed in the world of Legends of Runeterra is you can you Sunburst a card and you can trigger Daybreak on one of your units, just one of your units. That would probably be the only way that I can see that card getting buffed fairly. And even then, I still kind of like damn, like you're really pushing this, right? But they want Daybreak to be good. They really want people to use that mechanic, right? Because between the two, Daybreak and Nightfall definitely sees a lot more playability because it's a very good aggro strategy, right? It gets the job done. And they curve out really well. So by turn 7, you drop the Dust Petal, and now all of their units are 2-1 with Overwhelm, and they're about to hit your face. It was actually so good that they had to hit the guy who was originally an Overwhelm unit. He ain't even got no keywords no more. He just 6'5". But, I don't know if them buffing Sunburst was the best idea, but we're going to see.
Yeah, we're going to see. I mean, I'm not going to lie. The thing I'm the most interested when it comes to these buffs is Leviathan. I'm like, Leviathan. And
Swain's boat, right?
Yeah, Swain's boat. And then also, like, Magical Journey.
Why?
I'm very interested how they're going to either change or buff this card.
Why, though?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't, not going to lie, it doesn't see play.
Magical Journey does see play in some Nora's decks.
It probably isn't going to see play. The reason why is because Nora Bard is not a deck. I think when they originally came up with Nora, I think they thought that was going to be a deck. But it's trash. There's no way to play, like, your units, when they come out of portals, it's not like they get buffed from chimes.
The chimes, yeah.
So they don't go together at all.
Not at all.
So Magical Journey is probably going to take off the chimes and do something for Nora. I think that's probably the buff.
Okay. They got Nocturne and Tom Kench.
Kench? Honestly, no cap. This is probably what they do, and I'll hate it. I'll hate every second of it. They probably just give Tom Kench regeneration.
Yeah.
And I'll hate every second of it.
Yeah. He needs that, though. Especially seeing how he's supposed to be a control strategy, he needs something like that. Yeah, Tom Kent is supposed to get a nice, decent buff. We're not sure what that is yet, but if I had to assume, it definitely should be rejuvenation, because with that, not only does that help out the Shiraka strategy way better, because he'll just automatically heal whatever he took, but he will also just be a better unit in general by himself. So if you wanted to run Tom Kent's Scarland, that's even more. That's even better of a deck for you, and he'll be able to help level up Vladimir, help level up himself, right? While also not being in threat of Scarlands and, you know, killed by that card or Ravenous Flock. So I don't know. I feel like that's probably the direction they should take him, but we're gonna have to wait and see. They might just give him an extra point of health. I would hate them if they just gave him an extra point of health, because that's just, I don't know. I just hate when they just only adjust numbers and not actually change effects. I feel like that's like super lazy on their part, but what do I know? I'm just a player. You know, it's not like I actually designed these cards, right?
Yeah, true.
Swain, what do you think they're gonna do to him?
I'm a Swain enthusiast. So you want me to tell you what I want them to do, or what they're probably going to do?
Let's do both.
Okay. What I think they're going to do is they're probably going to make his level up condition a little bit easier to hit.
Okay.
Now, what I want them to do, I think Swain should be a 4-mana card.
Oh my god. Oh my god, you're so high.
Swain should be a 4-mana card. No cap. And here's why. Because Swain has to literally sit on the board to do anything. He has to sit on the board. It's not like, yes, he does level up in deck, but there's no way he does anything unless he's on the board. Like, literally. And he can't even, and he has to strike your actual Nexus for him to do stuff.
No, I just gotta ping you to get the stuns.
That doesn't even mean anything. What if they
yes, that does. That's crazy.
What if they just open attack? You can't do anything.
Let's say I'm gonna give you a prime example, right? So when they get Swain and Leviathan on board together, he gets to stun up to 3 units on the board, right? And then he can just open attack because he stunned them before he even swung. And now not only do I get to stun any more units after I deal the damage to your Nexus from Swain's ability, but I also get to deal 3 to all units on your board as well. And the following turn, I get to stun 3 more units. Granted, that's a 13 mana play to get Swain and Leviathan on board, but that's super strong and it's very hard to deal with.
I mean, it's not that hard to deal with. Like, you don't really have to deal with Leviathan. With Swain. You don't care about Swain. Swain is literally not cared about. It is Leviathan. It is Leviathan starring Swain. Like, literally, that is that deck. It is Leviathan starring Swain. It is not Swain starring Leviathan. Like, Leviathan is literally pulling the weight, and then Swain is just like, all right, I guess we're gonna win, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. But
so, I think if they make him 4 mana, I think he does so much more. That's just my opinion. And there are so many champs in the game that do so much more than Swain. I mean, they can adjust his stats, right? Because he would be like
okay.
Like, he would be like stupidly overstated for a 4-mana card. But
now, if they did change his stats, then I'll be like, okay, cool. He could be 4 mana. But if they do not change his stats, they're high as hell. Because that is so unbalanced. Like, literally unbalanced.
He's super overstated for a 4-mana card.
Right.
Like, that is stupid. Even for fucking Swain. Like, I mean, the card definitely sees its play, but the issue is like it's the same issue like you were saying, like we were talking about earlier. There's a lot of removal in the game. There's a lot of like, I mean, if they buff, I mean, they're buffing Sunburst in the same fucking patch that they're buffing Leviathan, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of removal in the game already,
Mm-hmm.
and that inherently counters Swain. Like that just straight up, my dude. You play Swain, I vengeance it. You play Leviathan, I vengeance it. What now? Like that's your strategy. Like that is your strategy, my G. I just vengeance you. What are you gonna do?
But but you gotta also remember there are not a vengeance in every single region, so there's not an automatic "I kill you" button in every single region. So what is Demacia supposed to do? What is Boundless City supposed to do? What is
Mini?
Oh yeah, they do got many more. If they do got many.
And then also for Demacia, concerted single. And then the only reason, honestly, that can't do shit is Bilgewater. They can't do shit.
They got Monster Harpoon, but yeah.
Well, it doesn't singly kill Swain. He's like a 5 mana 4/7.
Yeah, 4/7.
And Leviathan is a 3 mana. No, it's an
8 mana 5/8. No, it's 5/8.
Oh, 5/8. 5/8.
Yeah, 5/8 overwhelm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So these are big units. Harpoon is not killing that.
Yeah.
So and also for Ionia, they just bounce it back.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I didn't bring up Ionia because Ionia got too many checks.
They don't give a fuck. Like.
Yeah.
So,
okay, I mean you make some fair points. I give you this argument. You got this one. I can see a reason to give him a reduced cost and just lower his numbers slightly, right? -1, but you know he still levels up from deck and plop for 4, giving you 1 extra mana, which could possibly make a world of difference depending on the situation.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like I'm saying he should be a 3 mana card, right? Like,
yeah,
4 mana makes a big, like that 1 extra mana makes a big difference. That's an extra flock.
Yeah, that is true.
Like that is a huge difference, honestly. So I think that can't be understated, especially in a game like Runeterra. Like mana makes a big ass difference, like for real.
Bilgewater can give him vulnerability.
Unplayable to playable.
Okay, so yeah, they can give him vulnerability, but that requires them to commit to an attack token, and they gotta have a unit big enough to even kill him. He's 7 health. That motherfucker's massive, bro. That's without any type of buffs. Granted, Noxus doesn't really buff their units like that outside of damage, but you know, shit. Swain is used in a lot of different strategies. One of them primarily tending to be, like there was Timo Swain, there was Alawi Swain, there are Swain loyalists out there. They're gonna find ways to make him work. As you hear, We the People is also a Swain loyalist, so he's gonna find a way to make that motherfucker work too. So
I mean, right now, what's hot? Not gonna lie, not Nora. Nar Swain. Nar Swain's been pretty good for a while.
yeah, that was another one.
It's probably like a tier 3 deck. Not gonna lie, it's not that good, but if you play it well and they don't have like a way to just instantly fucking kill Leviathan on spot, then yeah, you can definitely take some games for sure.
TF Swain was definitely a really strong strategy too, Mr. Depressed.
Yeah.
So they got Velma and the Twisted Tree Line in here. Both of those cards did not see no play. Well, Velma didn't see play just because he was locked behind the Twisted Tree Line, and also the that ritual card that you had to activate from 3 units dying on your turn. What do you think they're gonna do to those to make them like see play? Because they got both of them on there as well.
Velma, I think this card gets overwhelmed when it sees play. Twisted Tree Line. Wow, honestly, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm kind of scared about this card. I don't think this card needs to get buffed.
Honestly, it definitely did. Because who was playing it before?
I think if you make Velma the unit that comes from it, if you make that unit good, this card instantly sees play.